Hey y'all, hey friends, it's your girl Coach Chucka, and you already know why I'm here. I want to welcome you to my little corner of these YouTube streets where I come every single day at 4 p.m. ish Central Standard Time to walk as many women as possible through the journey of losing weight and showing up every single day, everywhere you go, as the best version of yourselves. We are not doing trends. We're not doing the TikTok thing. We are not doing what you see everybody else do on social media. We're not doing no pills. We're not doing no Ozempic. We are doing it in a way that's simpler than you think. I want to break down today, though, what most people miss about losing weight. And the reason I want to talk about this is because this is the thing that matters the most if you are going to change your life, all right? Because losing weight does change your life. If you're going to change your life and you're going to do it in a way that it stays changed, not do it and then get it back, all right? So here's what most people do. Most of us want to show up like strong, like we got it together. What we like and what we look for and what drives us and what motivates us is we want people to see the after picture. I was this and now I'm this. What I'm saying, the glow up, the confidence, the change version of you. That's attractive, right? But here's what I don't really hear anybody ever talking about. That's a public display of the work you've done. It's a public win when you can say, I was here. I was 80 pounds heavier. I was on high blood pressure medication. I was having ocular migraines. I was extremely tired. That's a public win. It's the stuff that makes Instagram just work, okay? But it doesn't come from the things that you do publicly. You don't get that because of the things you did that everybody saw. Where it comes from is what you do when ain't nobody looking at you. So I remember going through my transformation, and a lot of it happened in the pandemic. So I went into the pandemic one way, and I transformed inside of it and left a completely different way. All right. And I'm just telling you, this is what I know for a certified fact to be true, that nobody sees the daily work that you have to do. Even if you post a portion of it, nobody is with you as you're making the daily decisions, the no's you have to give yourself, the ways you got to talk to and push yourself. Those are all the things that happen in private. And so if you're going to get results and keep results, you are going to have to focus most on the work that you do privately, not the stuff that everybody sees. So if this is not your first, time around the rodeo, you've done this before, you've started over again and again and again and again, you feel like, I just can't get no traction. I don't know why it is I can't seem to keep the weight off. It's because you have been focusing on getting this. You've been focusing on the likes to clap it up, but not doing the private work, not really developing yourself privately so that when you show up differently, you really are different. All right. So I want to break it all down. So public wins, the things that people applaud you for in public. This is what you post on Instagram. Public wins are your before and after pictures. I know I do it, okay? It's the numbers on the scale when you be like, yes, girl, I'm down 20 pounds. It's the compliments when people see you and they notice like you don't have two chins anymore. Your waist is slimmer. You're a smaller size. Your clothes fit better. They notice that you've dropped some weight, right? It's the thing that the world notices, right? Not necessarily knowing what it took for you to get it. Private work, though. The private work, this is what happens to you when it's just you, Jesus, the snacks in the refrigerator at 10:30 at night. That's the private work. That's the stuff you do in the dark. Because if you're in the refrigerator and nobody sees you eat the cookies, that's what happens privately. But guess who knows? You, Jesus, and the refrigerator. Okay? It's the prayer that you have to say, like, Lord, when you say, Lord, give me strength, and really mean it, when you feel tempted and he brings you out, like nobody sees that. It's just you, the Lord, and your snacks, okay? It's when you choose to walk, journal, baby, even if you cry, instead of using food as your best friend and your therapist, okay? Nobody sees this stuff. This is the stuff that you do in the dark. Nobody claps for that. Nobody knows you did it. Nobody knows what happened. They don't know. It's just you, yourself, and the Lord. Okay. So I'm saying that when we make the hustle to get the applause from the people, you do things like starve yourself all week, right? Because you want run 15,000 gazillion miles. Ask me how I know. All right. So that you can put on this, I got it together. Look, I say this about me and I never would say it about you, but this is putting lipstick on a pig. Okay. It looked real cute on the outside. It's dressed up. It got the earrings. It got the lip. It looked cute. Okay. It looks cute. But on the inside, it's a hot mess. So this is what happens when you don't press your way through or deal with these things in private. Okay. And your only focus is what it looks like publicly. And when you do this, okay, when your number one objective, I've been guilty. My reason for starting the journey was I wanted to lose 50 pounds. Another one of my reasons was I wanted to go from an 18 to a 14. When these things are the focus, you are going to end up right by where you started, because you never dealt with the things that drive you, that happen, that you have to deal with, that need to be processed in the dark, in the house, behind closed doors, where nobody else sees. All right. And this work is supposed to be done privately. We're supposed to do it privately. You're not supposed to process this publicly. But I'm saying allow this work to be the thing that motivates you and pushes you. Like, this is the thing we don't want. We don't want to deal with that. Okay. But the word says when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is what? Unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in what? Secret will reward you. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, pray to your Father who is unseen, and then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Okay? Will reward you. So that, and when you get that reward, that's the real reward. That's the real reward. That's the real stuff right there. They come from what you do in private. When God sees that I can trust you to make these decisions when you're alone, out of the earshot and the timelines of the world, and I can trust you, okay, now I can reward you. I'm telling you that if the Lord would have blessed me the way I wanted it, because I wanted to lose 50 pounds in about 10 days so I could wear a bikini. Okay, he can't do nothing with that. That's not going to glorify him, okay? There's no glory that comes from that. So I needed the time to be in a private place so that I could process the things that got me to where I was to begin with. So I could deal with things like the fact that I was a people pleaser. So that I could deal with things like the fact that I had terrible boundaries. So I could deal with the things that my flesh was weak. And I want what I want when I want it. So I could deal with the things like discovering that I was a sugar addict and how to deal with that. So I could deal with the things that, like, I really don't like to eat God's food, okay? And I need to learn to love it so that I could deal with these things privately. Now I can step out publicly. And when you do this, not only can you keep it because you know how you got there, okay? It didn't just happen from starving yourself or one-off. You know exactly how to get there. And if you fall off, you know how to get right back there. All right? So let's talk about what private work actually looks like when you are trying to lose weight. It does not look like eat this, don't eat that. It does look like, though, having honest conversations with yourself about the reason that you eat and you're not even hungry. The reason that you think that you need to eat and it's 12 o'clock just because somebody told you it was lunchtime. It's having an honest conversation with yourself about the hours in the day that is consumed by food. I remember discovering that my whole day, okay, the majority of my day was either just got through eating, I'm about to eat, I'm eating, or I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat. Like, I just did it, doing it, or I'm getting ready to. It was all about the next meal. Even in ordering from Chick-fil-A, I would go to Chick-fil-A 5 days a week. No lie, no exaggeration. I promise. I'm so glad I have witnesses because I feel like when I tell this part of my life, I think it sounds like a made-up story, but my students Verified, got witnesses. People who did life with me that work, students who attended the school that I was at and who worked there, they knew that they could do it. All right. So what I'm saying is I did that every single day. And I did it not because I was hungry. It wasn't that I was hungry at 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm running through Chick-fil-A. It's the fact that I might get hungry. Tragic, I know. I might get hungry, and I don't like who I become when I get hungry. So I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A and get something because I work in an unpredictable environment. You may or may not get a break in education. So I'm going to eat just in case I get hungry. That was my whole life. Not, am I hungry? Let me live my life in a way that my appetite is not that ravenous, because my ravenous appetite was created by what I was eating. So let me eat better so that I don't have these ravenous cravings for food. And then when I get hungry, I can figure out what I'm going to do without, let me learn how to plan my days in advance so that I already know what it is I'm going to eat tomorrow. And I'm not scrambling in case I get hungry. Then I would run to Chick-fil-A, be there, and thinking where I'm going to circle back through for lunch. If I do get a break, am I going to go to the little wing spot that's down the street? Or am I going to come back here to Chick-fil-A? Or am I going to go like Jimmy John's and give me a snack? What am I going to do? Okay? Because if I get hungry, it's going to be problematic. So this is the work that you have to do in private. You have to look at the fact that, okay, first of all, this is a habit. You do this not because you love Chick-fil-A and not because you're hungry. You eat when you're not hungry, right? And that, my friend, you got to fix. That's private work. That's private work. Then I had to start making decisions like, you know what? I started telling myself, you too cute to be eating out of windows. You too cute to be eating out the drive-thru. Don't do that no more. Sit down and eat like a regular person, okay? So then I started saying, you know what? I'm going to stop allowing people to prepare my food, because other people prepare things. I can't really get I can't really learn this thing about how my food affects my body. That's private work. All right. So it's not, I'm going to eat this so I can show everybody I had a salad. That's public stuff. All right. You got to do the work in the dark at the house. Okay. It's choosing to sit down and process. Okay. When I feel like this, I eat this. Okay. When somebody then push me when I'm close to the edge, I'm going to need some ice cream to get myself together. Okay. But the private work, that's recognizing, oh, you know what? It seems like when I'm around this person do things this a trigger for me. This right here set me off. This will bring me far from the Holy Spirit. This is not a healthy interaction. That's private work. That's private work. It's the little things that you do all day long, little bitty decisions to remain disciplined that nobody ever sees. It's deciding I'm going to go to Costco, baby, and I'm not going to eat you people's samples, okay? Don't nobody clap for that. Don't nobody know you did it. It's the saying no to the snack that we eat in the way in the midnight hour. It's waking up earlier than you used to so that you can get your exercise in. It's going to bed on time so you can wake up earlier so you can get your exercise in. It's making time, spacing your day to pray in the morning. It's deciding, you know what? I could watch my show, but let me talk to my Father. This is the private work. And this is the stuff that creates a change in you that stays, okay? That stays. And when you do this stuff, these are the things. When you do these things, the stuff you're looking for publicly will happen. It'll show up. But these are the things that nobody claps for. Ain't no like button for it. Nobody gonna be like, yes, girl, I see you. Okay. So let me tell you the things that show up in public. If you've been doing the private work long enough, then the public wins are inevitable. If you do the work privately long enough, it is inevitable that people will start to see the change, that people will notice the change, that people will ask you about the change. If you do the private work long enough. And so some of us do the private work for a week, 10 days, we two-week juice fasting it. All right. But if you do the private work long enough, the public win is inevitable. It has to happen. People will be like, girl, what are you doing? How did you do this? And we're going to probably tell them something like, girl, I just been eating my salads and drinking this water and exercising. But the true answer, you ain't got to tell them because they're going to think you're being evasive and incognito. You can say, I did the work that nobody saw. I went to work in the dark. I went to work privately. You ain't got to tell nobody. If you do this work in private long enough, what you're looking for publicly will happen. All right. So let's talk about what this means for you, because this is the thing that I need you to get like deep in your spirit. Trying to get something so that you can get public, I don't care what it is. Like doing it, if your motivation is public validation, acceptance, a public win, you're going to stay forever in character, like performing. It's going to be just a show. No freedom, though. No transformation. No becoming unrecognizable happens from that. You only get that from the things you do in privately. So the more honest conversations you have with yourself behind closed doors, when it's you, your Father, and these walls, okay? The more journaling, praying, non-Netflix, non-scrolling you do, the more honest you get with yourself when there's nobody else there, the more consistent you will be, the more confident you will show up everywhere else. So if you're looking at somebody, this reminds me of what's the song Erica Campbell and them got to say, you don't know how much I pray, right? You talking about what you see. You don't know how hard I prayed, right? This is basically, they say it's the God in me, okay? So God didn't call us to just look like we doing something, okay? The word don't say I came so you could look like you had living abundant. Okay, like look like you living to the full. He said, I came so you can have life and have it to the full, have it abundantly. So he called us to live in abundance. And that only happens when you start on the inside. That only happens when you start getting in relationship with him, when you start learning how to manage your emotions, when you start really understanding what the word says, when you start looking at situations biblically and not by how you feel. All right, when you start building relationships that make you be better, that require you to be better. When you start going to places you're uncomfortable. All right. Some of us like going to these same places with the same people that make us comfortable. Did nobody say you couldn't love them? All right. But if you're not growing, like get you some divine connections. All right. So if you are tired, honey, tired. Okay. If you on diet number 679, okay. If you are tired of doing it for the gram and tired of wondering, like, can I really have this thing that my heart desires? Then I need you to make a commitment that you're going to do some work in private when nobody is watching you. All right. When there's nobody there. People weren't here when I was chopping up salads, okay? There wasn't nobody but me, my neighbor, my family, okay? And these vegetables, chopping up salads. Wasn't nobody here when I was seasoning up the salmon. Nobody was here for that. Nobody sees when you say, you know what? I'm gonna go to bed because sleep is a very important part of your weight loss journey. I'm gonna stop scrolling. I'm gonna go to bed so I can get up and have good quality sleep. People don't see that. So I'm working on a free training inside of Ready, Set, Habits to walk you through this step by step, real habits, real changes in the way you think, so that you can really have a breakthrough that happens behind the scenes. So if you are ready to get results, baby, that the world didn't give to you and the world can't nobody take it from you. All right. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to the description or in my bio and click Ready, Set, Habits and join us in the free community. All right. We do not have to live for public applause. It's fleeting anyway. People are fickle, will love you today and not tomorrow. Will clap for you today and roll their eyes at you tomorrow. Okay. But you deserve, the reason why all of this matters is because you deserve to live. It is possible and you deserve to live well beyond the wait. And you know what else? I love you enough to call you out of where you are stuck, where you are comfortable being. I love you enough to call you out and drag you if I got to from there to here. Okay. So go to Ready Set Habits. If you're not in the community, that's the only way to get access to the training. It's free, but you got to be in the community. There's no big announcement behind it. It just drops in the community. All right. I absolutely love you to life. I will see you tomorrow in the same place and at the same time. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing evening.